Welcome to News at Danville Area Community College. We are so happy to have you join us again this semester. This is our first kickoff show. So I have asked Cindy Peck to join us. Cindy is our Director of Admissions and Records, and she's also our Registrar. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we have been really busy. This is the first week, and people are coming in. We're very happy to see them. And what do you think?
It is always great when the students come back, and it's usually quieter during the summer. When the students get back, there's just an energy on campus, and it's just a really good time to see the new students and see returning students and see what they're going to do with their year.
I agree. It's a good time to connect with people, and it is kind of like that welcome back, and we do a lot of different things to welcome students. So one of the things that we do that I wanted to highlight was our Ask Me campaign.
Yes, that is a campaign that we started several years ago, the first couple days of the semester. We have students, faculty, staff who volunteer, and they're stationed throughout campus in some of the buildings that students are going to be using, and they're just available to answer questions that students might have if they're lost, they don't know where a classroom is, or maybe something showed up that they weren't sure what it was, anything like that. And I know that some students really are anxious when they come in, and it's a great way for them to feel welcome on campus, even if it's just a smile or a hello. Maybe they don't need any help, but it makes them feel welcome, and I think the volunteers really enjoy it as well.
I agree. I believe they do. But by the time this is airing, of course, we'll be a week or so into the semester. So for students who didn't get that opportunity to ask the questions, we're still available.
We are, yes. We always encourage students, before you walk out that door, if you're having a problem or you're having a concern, please talk to somebody, your instructor or an advisor or somebody in my office, admissions and registration. We're right there as soon as you come in the main building. Information. It's just a great way to connect with someone on campus and try to get your question answered before it becomes an issue.
Right, and that's why I've been telling my students all week, I know the hardest thing for you to do was to come onto the campus, ask questions, because we don't know what you don't know, but we're willing to help. So let's cut things off at the beginning. If there's something you're confused about, we are more than willing to help, and there is no dumb question. I mean, I remember being the first person to walk on campus, and it was a scary time.
Yeah, I mean, it's, people, sometimes it's their first time at the campus, aside from registering, or even just when you go from it being quiet in the summer, maybe you came out, there weren't a lot of people here, and now there's parking lots full. You might have to find a different parking lot to park in, and I think it just can sometimes rattle some people, and it's always good to just ask someone, and everyone on campus is willing to help out. They
sure are. So another thing that we do is the welcome back picnic or get together. Let's talk about that.
That's a great event where we go out in the quad, and there are different tables with programs and student activities and information about different things on campus that students can go out. There's food, there's music, there's games. It's just a really good time to, like you said, kind of kick off the semester and welcome everyone back to the campus.
And somebody that we are going to be welcoming to the campus is our new president, Dr. Stephen Nichols. For those of you that don't know, we do have a new college president, and we are very excited to have Dr. Nichols join us, but it's going to be different. So he's very anxious to meet students, and he's welcoming, so I want the community to meet him as well. And as he's making his rounds, make him feel welcome to the community.
I know that when I've spoken with him, he has said that already he's felt very welcome. He and his wife have felt very welcome in the community, and I know that he was, first day, he was down in the Union, he was meeting students and having lunch with staff, and I think he's just trying to learn everything he can. Obviously, there's a lot to learn. He's not from the area, so I think that he's very excited and very energetic and ready to be a part of the community.
Sure. And there are a few differences between New Jersey and Illinois, so we'll patiently help him walk through it. Another thing that we're doing, or that we actually did this summer, we had a pretty cool kickoff with the changes in our ornamental horticulture building.
We did. We had a wonderful donation from Julius Hegler II Foundation, and they did some updates to the ornamental horticulture building, and it looks beautiful, and I'm sure that the students are very happy to have their space kind of revitalized, and I know that they're going to be able to do some great things in that area.
And one of the fun things they also did this summer associated with that, the farm plot that they have out on the other side of town.
Yep, and they're really doing a lot of different things, science classes are using it, the ornamental horticulture class, culinary arts, they did a farm to table course, and so I think they're really trying to utilize that generous donation that we received and use it for learning purposes.
So it's been a busy summer, and you know, I think sometimes when classes are slowing down in the spring that we're just sitting here. Nope, there's always something going on. We're always busy, and we're always trying to catch up to the next thing.
We are, definitely.
Speaking of the next thing and catching up, achieving the dream, let's talk about the leadership status.
Yes, we were awarded Leader College recertification for the next 3 years. We're very excited about that. We were able to show improvement in 2 areas of our Student Success Initiative. We were able to show an increase in fall-to-fall retention, so students who started one fall were returning the next year at a higher rate than they had in the past, and we also have seen an increase in our degree and certificate completions. So we're doing a great job. I mean, we've always worked hard on trying to help students be successful, but we're doing it in a more more pointed fashion, and we're really looking at students and saying, what can we do to help you get through whatever your educational goal is, help you reach that.
And as a part of that, talk about the first year experience. You and I just came from a meeting. Fabulous ideas. I think we often think of more things to do than we can realistically do, but it's a great group of people, and there's some really cool things called that will be happening, like the calling campaign.
Yes, we do a calling campaign every semester. At the beginning of the semester, we call all the new students and just welcome them to campus. But this year, we are going to try to dig a little deeper and continue to meet, continue to contact those students throughout the semester and just remind them of certain things, when they can start applying for financial aid, when they can register for the next semester. Because if you're a new student, you may not know those things, and it might be something that you need a little bit of a reminder on, and just say, what are some obstacles that you're facing, what can we do to help you, and we're here to help. We just want to make sure that they know that there's someone on campus who is worried about or making sure that they're doing a good job.
Right, and that goes right along with our mentoring program. And of course, the mentoring program, students can sign up for that. It's absolutely free, and we have volunteer staff, faculty, who are administrators who volunteer to be a mentor, and then they work one-on-one with a specific student throughout the semester. That's an initiative that's went over really well.
Yes, I think that the students and the mentors have found that to be very beneficial. I know my student worker has a mentor, and she has only great things to say about him, and I know I'm very excited about my mentee, and I check on him, see how he's doing, and I think it's just a good way for, especially for some administrators who maybe don't get as much involvement with students as a whole, it really helps you feel like you're helping someone on campus. So.
Right, and again, going back to the beginning of the show, ask questions. If there's questions that you have, we want to be answering those.
Yes.
Don't walk around and you have something you need to know, stop any of us. We will help you, and if we don't know the answer, we will walk and find out who you need to see.
Yep.
So just a big welcome back initiative. Again, the Ask Me campaign, the mentoring, the phone calls. We want you to know that you're a part of the college. We value you, and we want to make sure that we are serving you as a student. So thank you for coming to DACC, and you are welcome here. We're doing our best to make sure you have a great experience. Something that we have coming up also, it's a little later, but College Day is something that we do every year.
Yes, it is on Thursday, September 22nd from 9 to 11 in the Mary Miller Gym. And what we do is we invite, last year I think we had over 60 colleges and universities for high school students, area high school students, and college students to be able to look at what their opportunities are once they're done at DACC. If they are planning on transferring, this is a great way for them to see what their options are in the state as well as outside of the state, and see where they might want to go from here.
And then let's talk about some of the new curricular changes like the AFA.
Yes, we have 2 new transfer associate degrees that were approved, the Associate in Fine Arts and the Associate in Fine Arts and Education. So we've had a lot of students who were interested in the arts and fine art, but they didn't have a curriculum that really transferred well to a school if they were transferring on from there. So those have been put in place. Dr. Penny McConnell, Dean of the Liberal Arts and Library Services, she was great at getting that put together, and a lot of time and effort's gone into that, and so I think students are very excited about that opportunity.
Okay, and then fun things on campus. We have a lot of different clubs. We have athletics. Do you want to mention a few of those?
We have had some, we have interest in students who are interested in video games or card games. They can be a part of the guild. We have a DACC Poet Society where students can read their own poetry or other poetry. Like you said, the athletics, we have a lot of new athletes and returning athletes on campus, and I know that they're always excited to be here and being able to continue to play the sport that they love. And it's just, if there are any groups or any activities or some sort of interest that a student has that maybe we don't have an existing club for, we always encourage them to start that. I know that, each group of students that come in, there may be something different that they're interested in, and so if they are interested, we encourage them to meet with Don Nasser and get that set up so that they can have a new student activity that other students may be interested in as well.
Well, one that just came out yesterday, an email blast that went to all the staff, they're wanting to start a dance team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to teach?
No, I'm not going to
Okay,
be the person.
I'm not going to do it either. But there is going to be one. So, again, we're always looking for things. We're always trying to make this a comfortable experience. So, she's always here on campus, Cindy Peck. She is our Director of Admissions and Records, our Registrar. And if you need any information, she's always available to help. Mm-hmm. You're basically in charge of a lot of the frontline staff. So, those are really friendly folks. You have good people.
Thank you. I agree. Yes, they are always willing to answer questions. And like you said, if they don't know the answer, they can get you to the person who can.
Okay. Well, Cindy, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a break, and in a moment, we're going to have on Carol Nichols. Carol just happens to be Cindy's mom, so we can't wait to talk to her and hear what's going on with the Small Business Development Center. We'll be back in just a minute. And Cindy, thank you.
Thank you.
Here at DACC, they teach you real-world applications and the job. They kind of make the atmosphere job-like.
I can actually see myself getting closer to my goals. You get a university-level education here. Everything you do gets you one step closer to your job.
Education kind of becomes the key. The more you know, the more they're going to pay you. Right now, because we are so in need of skilled employees, companies are willing to invest in employees that will get training. If they have the interest and can be trained, this is the beginning. The aha moment, it's the reason I come here every day. I want them to understand when they leave my class that there's a lot going on in the world of manufacturing.
I love working on these machines. The excitement is crazy.
I like fixing things and knowing how to do things.
Do you want to work with your hands? Do you want to create something? Then this is the place to come to. You want to take the manufacturing engineering classes.
Our programs include a lot of the latest technology. There's really an opportunity to go right into the workforce. There's no limit to what they can do.
Welcome back to News at Danville Area Community. I'm your host, Laura Williams, and in the studio with me now is Carol Nichols. Cindy Peck's still in the studio, though. She's watching and making sure Mom does a good job. So Carol is the director of the Small Business Development Center. Carol, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're certainly not a new person. You've been on the show several times, but you always have exciting things going on with the Small Business Development Center. So try to catch us up on any cool things that happened over the summer.
Okay. Let's see. Over the summer, actually summer is a little bit of a slow time for us too. I think people are on vacation and they're just not really thinking about starting a business, or they're not acting on it yet. So for us it's a little bit of a slow time, and we're more preparing for the things that are coming up in the fall. So we have some fun things happening this fall though, so we can talk about those if that's okay.
That's great.
Okay. One of the things that we've started this year that's been really good is we had some of our small businesses who said they would like to not just have workshops where we have an expert come in and tell them about a subject. They would like to be able to get together with other businesses and talk about issues that they're having and pick a topic and then basically do a roundtable discussion. So we've launched that this year. We're doing 6 of those in 2016, and we were able to obtain First Midwest Bank as a sponsor for those events. So we have, we alternate between lunches and breakfasts, and we take a topic and business people come in. Sometimes those are people in business, maybe people who've been in business a long time, or maybe people who are just starting a business and thinking about a business. But we just have lunch or breakfast and we talk about the topic of the day. And sometimes we'll have an expert sit at the table with us too, just so that we also have input from them. So we've done several of those this year, but the next one coming up is in September. And that's on Thursday, September 15th at noon, and it's on social media. We had lots of our businesses that are saying, you know, they just didn't feel like they were maximizing their use of social media, and not just Facebook, but LinkedIn, and a lot of, you know, eBay, or there's just a lot of different options for social media today that they can use not only to get the word out about their product, but to actually market their product. So we have someone coming in from Constant Contact who is a specialist in social media, and she's going to be at the table with us, but we're also going to pick the brains of other folks who are in business already and doing a good job using it, or don't know how to use it and want to learn how. So.
And see, now when I go to conferences and I meet with other adult education directors, I love being able to meet with people who are doing the same job that I'm doing, but at a different place, because we all walk away with so many different ideas, and when someone says it, you're like, why haven't I already thought of that?
Exactly.
It's so simple. So this, you know, I know they'll get the same thing out of that, and plus having that expert at the table, she's going to be able to complement what they're saying.
Exactly. And another thing, you know, kind of the flip side of that too, is sometimes when you only bring in an expert, they are coming in from somewhere else. What we like about this is that most of the people at the table are people who are in business here in Vermilion County, and so they understand they're facing the same challenges and have the same opportunities, so they appreciate that similarity as well as the different perspective from somebody coming in.
Well, and the demographics, and you know, we were talking about this with the new president coming in, it's different demographics. People are people, but you know, every area has their own culture. So it's a good thing that they can share like that. And plus, social media, it's changing so quickly.
Oh, day to day, absolutely it does. So
Great topic.
it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. The next one after this, November 16th, we're doing breakfast. Those start at 7:30 in the morning. And that one's on Wednesday, November 16th, and we're on attracting and retaining customers. So we think that's a good, you know, sort of a last minute discussion before the holiday season, and also getting people ready for the next year and their goals for the next year.
Right, so building that loyalty and that following.
Exactly.
So is there a cost for this? You said the First Midwest was sponsoring?
Actually, we don't. What we do is we charge, we have a $2 donation you can give, and then we have a drawing at the end of the day, and the person takes home all the money out of that donation.
Fun.
So, because First Midwest has provided the food and that kind of thing for us. So it gives a great opportunity for you know, people to come and have a chance to go away with more than they came with, not just ideas, but maybe even a little extra money. So.
Right. And you're right there at the mall, so hey,
Exactly.
you might find a sidewalk sale.
Well, you could on your way out, spend your money before you get home.
So talk about the facility at the mall real quick, because you know that's a pretty unique option.
Right. We are housed with the Community Education Department at DACC, and we're at the Village Mall. We're in the Burlington wing, and it's an opportunity. You know, it gives us visibility beyond what we would have on campus. And so I know Laura Hensgen, who is our Community Education Director. It's a great opportunity for her to touch base with people who may utilize the programs, the trips that she does, the lunch and learns that she does, and that kind of thing. So it's really a great location for that.
And you have a really nice classroom in there, well, a couple of different classrooms.
Absolutely. We have multiple classrooms. We have a computer lab, and so it's a great place for folks to see us that might not normally see us, and then it's easy access if you're going to participate in a group or a class.
Okay, so let's back up a minute and just talk about what is SBDC.
Okay. SBDC is the Small Business Development Center, and it's part of a network of business consultation centers across the country. Nationwide, the Small Business Administration, the SBA, is a sponsor and a funder. At our state level, the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity is a funder, and then Danville Area Community College helps to fund our office, as well as other people like First Midwest and private donors that help keep us going. So But the idea is we provide free one-on-one consultations for people who are either considering starting a small business or people who are in business and thinking about expanding or just have a challenge. Maybe it's, they're going to start adding employees and need to know how to handle all of that, or they have a question on marketing, or they just want to, sometimes just getting away from the business and sitting down and talking to somebody about your business without all the pressures of the business, day-to-day pressures, is a lot of people say that's just valuable. Because we're lucky enough to have funding through all these different entities. We don't have to charge our clients when they come in and do these consultations. We do have workshops that, again, some of them we do charge a small amount. QuickBooks workshops are $35 and that kind of thing. But we try to make it something that's not only easy access because it's in town, but it's maybe less expensive than other workshops you might have to travel to. So.
Right. And it's just a great help. You're kind of the one-stop shop for anything with businesses. And I mean, my husband and I have a small business. There's always something coming up in different things. And like you said, just if you're wanting to expand your business or you're wanting to market or you're wanting to keep those clients, how do you do that? So the SBDC is a point of contact to pull all of that together.
Exactly. When people are starting, or even if they're doing some sort of a major expansion, one of the key things is to put together a business plan. And that involves a written narrative about, what is your business going to do exactly, and who's your customer going to be? And it's not really everybody. That's always the first answer. But you're going to have somebody who's some type of customer that's going to be your best customer. What that person going to look like, and how do you reach that person? What's the operation going to look like on the day-to-day operation? Where, if you're going to be selling things, where do you buy your product? Just all those little questions that you walk through, and we put all that down on paper. And then we do a financial analysis that talks about, what are your expenses going to be? Where's your income going to come from? What are your prices going to be? And we help you look at where you need to be to break even, and where you need to be to make the money that makes it worth your time to invest in this business. So.
And, people often have that idea. They want to run an ice cream shop, or they want to be a decal store. And, and that's great. Having the idea is the first thing. But as you're saying, there's so many practical things that have to go with this. So you're going to have payroll taxes, and you're going to accept checks, and so the business plan really makes you think about possible obstacles and all the things you're going to need to deal with.
Absolutely. And sometimes when I feel like I'm throwing so much at people, but there just is a lot to it. And sometimes it's good to know that going into it, and then think this is how I'm going to approach it. And or maybe sometimes people come in and then say, maybe this is more than I thought it was going to be, and I don't know if I can do it. And I just maybe think it's not the decision for me right now. And that's all great too. That's fine if that's the decision you make. It's better to have gone through that analysis and made that decision not to do it than to jump in and do it and invest money that maybe something happens. Maybe it doesn't work and you've lost your money, and that's not a good thing. So.
Right. And folks, this is why it's good for anybody that's thinking about anything with business to contact her. Carol and I have had our own conversations with my daughter starting a business or me wanting to start a business, and there's so many things you don't think of. This is a absolutely free opportunity for you to learn from experts. So if you have any questions about starting a small business, the Small Business Development Center is here for you. So make sure you give Carol a call or stop by and see what she's doing and get an appointment and get that good information. You have some other things going on that's coming up?
Well, one of the things, if you're in that...
Sorry.
Okay.
I just want to highlight some of the things that you did this summer. Because you
did this summer?
Well, I'm sorry, with your businesses, because not this summer, but for the past year, because I asked you the summer at the beginning, sorry.
Okay.
But you had some really great business startups.
Okay. Well, one of the things that's important to remember is that when businesses come to us, it's confidential. So we really don't share unless a business has told us that we can. And one of the things we did our Small Business Stars. Do you want to talk? Is that where you're headed?
Okay. That's where I was headed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Once a year we do a breakfast and recognize small businesses that have distinguished themselves in the community and at different levels of, different places in their business growth. We had 2 Legacy Business of the Year Award winners, Doty and Parks Management Consulting and Latos Hardware in Westville. Then in our Small Business of the Startup of the Year Awards went to Cafe 13 in downtown Danville and Treasured Roots Flower Shop in Hoopeston. And then we also had a Small Business of the Year award that went to Sign Programmers, which is Debbie Tracy, and she does design for LED signs, kind of like the Watchfire signs you see around, but she does them for all over the world. She's in multiple countries on, I think, 5 continents, and has clients just all over the world, so she's not somebody who focuses. In fact, fewer of her clients are in Danville. Most are outside the community. But she helps them design signs that will look good, design messages that will look good on those signs. And then our entrepreneurs of the year were Bill and Melissa Gowdy from Threads of Time. And if you haven't been to Threads of Time, you should go. They obviously focus on fabrics and sewing projects, but the other thing that's especially fun, you just maybe don't see if you don't know it's there, is they also have a retreat center. And so people can come and bring their projects from all over the Midwest. They come in groups, they stay overnight, they have rooms that they can sew in, and it's just an amazing place, and people just have a fantastic time bonding there. And I know I asked her if people come all the time, and she said they only had 2 days, Christmas and Christmas Eve, that they did not have people in the retreat center last year. So,
and this must be very rewarding to you to see that these things come to fruition.
And some of these people may have worked with the center in some capacity years ago, but when I took this job 4 years ago, that was a question they asked me, was what did I want to do in 5 years? And I'm kind of in the later stages of my career. I had another life before this. So for me, in 5 years, I just want to be able to drive down the street and see businesses that hopefully we've had been of some help to, and I feel like we've accomplished that. So.
Awesome. Well, believe it or not, I've asked Carol so many questions that I didn't really get to her other part, so you'll have to come back.
Oh,
we gave Cindy her one time and done, but you have to come back,
no,
okay?
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions about Danville Area Community College, please give us a call at 443-DACC, which is 443-3222, or visit our website at www.dacc.edu. Until next time, thanks.